You're such an asshole.
Come on, children. Time to get the work done. Time to get the work done now that everybody has left. When I get older, man, not that I'm not old now, but when I get older, I'm not doing favors to nobody else. Can I? If the word starts out, question, can you? The answer is no. No, I can't. Sitting here, going to drink my coffee. I'm going to go golf. I'm going to go hike. I'm going to go ride motorcycles. Can I? No, I can't. No, I cannot. Would like to. Actually, don't like to. I'm not going to do it. Nope. Get your own ass to your own airport. Here we go. Hey, I have a quick video response question. You have them sorted out via videos, but I don't think I know all of them. Could you give a list of whom you were most inspired by and who you know they were your idols inspired by? I don't know who they were inspired by. I can only tell you who I'm inspired by, but a lot of these guys are either dead, I don't know them personally, and I can't ask them, or they're fictional characters. And that's what a lot of them have been influenced by, is fictional characters. Or not them, but they are fictional characters, so they cannot be influenced by anyone in return. So I broke it down into two groups, because there's something that's different. When you are young, you are inspired by your heroes. When you're old, you're inspired by people who live in the real world. And as you get older, the real world basically, I wouldn't say beats the shit out of you, although that does happen too, but you realize just how much society lies to you, just how bad, and this isn't of all times. I mean, I'm sure there was times when World War II generation was around, was a little bit more moral and ethical. But nowadays you realize just what a bunch of debauched, inferior morons most people are, and how what should be done, and a perfect example, teachers want to change lives and inspire fuck, that is the last group of people you want inspiring kids. They're morons. They have an agenda. They're some of the most worthless people on the planet. So you don't want to listen to these people in terms of, I want to be inspired, I want to look up to them. It's like, no, but if you do, which you typically are, that comes from society, and therefore it's going to not spoil you or corrupt you, but it's going to send you down the wrong path, because it's what society wants you to do, not what you should do or what's based in reality. So I have the idealistic how Cappy was influenced young, which sent me down the path today, and who influences me now, who inspires me now, who I look up to. So when I was a kid, the first one, the single biggest influence, was a guy named Scott Bernard. And if you're saying, Scott Bernard, why does that sound familiar? It might sound familiar because it was in a reasonably popular 1980s cartoon called Robotech. And that was like one of the first Japanese anime to make it over here. And the basic plot is in the future, and aliens take over the planet, and the other planets have been colonized. And to get Earth back from the aliens, all the other planets start sending their divisions in to take back Earth. And Scott Bernard is just this fighter pilot from Mars, the Mars division. They're the closest. They get there first, and they just get their asses handed to him, to the point that he's the only guy left of the whole division, and he crashes at the southern tip of South America. And then the whole cartoon series is how he battles his way up to, I think, is Ohio, where Reflex Point is, and that's where the bad aliens have their headquarters. And it's a story about how he puts together this rebel team, and it's not terribly accurate, because you're like, well, wait, if the aliens could just show up and they just go after this guy, they must know he's there. But there's a lot of, what I liked about it is the heroism and the numbers and the fact that he was defeated. I mean, he had nothing. He lost his fiancée, he lost everybody. He's on a foreign planet, doesn't know where he is, doesn't know what rain is, and then he just doesn't care. He's going to go on and do it. So that heavily influenced me. Also, if you're a man, if you're a boy in the 80s, you should have John McClane up there. Not necessarily your God Almighty Bruce Willis, but John McClane from Die Hard. Here again, don't care what the odds are. It's principle. We're going to do it. Plus, you're just going to be manly. It wasn't even that he's saving his wife. It's not even saving his wife. It's just like, wow, I want to be that masculine. I want to be that badass. And you talk to any guy, any young man, boy back then who saw Die Hard, we were willing to get our feet cut up. We were willing to do whatever. We were like, wow, to have that level of accomplishment, to be that badass, to be the hero, we would have done it. And now I think I even wrote a piece like why women don't deserve John McClane, because ain't no, once you're a certain, you're like, fuck it, nope. I mean, if you were John McClane, if I was John McClane now, like, okay, 8th grade Aaron, now give me the pistol, I'll do whatever, I will go, I will be a hero, I don't care about me. So now 43, you try like 26, 27-year-old, and what? You want me to go in the building? I'd be getting out of that building so fast. I'd be like, hey, somebody left the door open. And there went the sentry, and I'm running out and making a mad dash. I'm like, yeah, hey, by the way, officer, shit ton of hostages in that building. There's terrorists. How many? Don't know. Didn't care to find out. Best of luck to you. I'm getting a coffee. I'm going golfing. That's the difference between Die Hard Clary style in 1988 versus Die Hard Clary style today, where it's like, oh, yeah, I was taking a dump and they didn't sweep the area real clean. And so I was able to escape through some air vents. And, I had a pistol. I could have saved them, but fuck that shit. I don't know them. And my wife is kind of a bitch anyway. So, sending dicks. Hey, how's the terror? I saw, yeah, no, I hope they actually kill you. So now I get the kids. I don't have to pay alimony, you dumb bitch. I've never even been married. So that's who also influenced me. Another one, parents. This would be everybody. You cannot help but be, I wouldn't say necessarily inspired, but certainly influenced. But they inspired me with a version of monkey see, monkey don't do. Like, they got divorced. I'm like, I'm not getting divorced. They got married. I'm not getting married. They were poor. I'm not getting poor. The Lord will provide. I looked around. The Lord's going to provide. Jack shit. The meek shall inherit the earth. The meek shall inherit shit. And basically that influenced me, and that was a huge influence to not have kids, be very wary of getting married, not go into debt, hard work ethic, put myself through college, which then, no school, full-time school, full-time work, that galvanized me into an individual today. Well, I all started with my parents. And you too will go back, you'll say, oh, my parents obviously inspired you and influenced you to do certain things, for good or bad. And so there was certainly that. So that formed the young Clary. Mr. Korick, he was my economics teacher in high school. He was one of the best teachers, easily. He's what made me get excited about economics. I was thinking about doing nuclear engineering because I also liked physics. I enjoyed nuclear physics very much. And physics in general, and chemistry. But Mr. Korick, unfortunately, made me like economics more because he was that good of a teacher. And that obviously sent me down the path of hell, where economics is a worthless degree thing. Thankfully, I switched to finance because we all know how great a degree that is. And certainly nothing wrong with Mr. Cork. He was a great teacher, but it shows you again. I don't think Mr. Cork woke up, I want to change lives. I think Mr. Cork just really enjoyed economics. He was a very smart man and really good at being a teacher. But that's where a good thing can ruin your life, because you should never go into economics. You should never go into economics. It's a great study for people under 22, where you learn the basics. But then after that, you realize, this is just common sense with a lot of fucked up theories, a lot of numbers, and a lot of you guys masturbating to statistics and theoretical math because deep down inside you know this is not a practical field. This isn't a real field. And then more recently was Rorschach, again, fictional character from not the Kingsman, the Watchmen. And you'll never, by the time the Watchmen came out, I'd been pretty solidified into who I was, and it's hard to get rid of that. Now, he is the moral absolutist. I'm a little bit more Machiavellian, but no matter how hard I try, there's still bits and pieces of me where I get pissed off at the incompetence of everybody. I don't know if you've seen The Watchmen. You should. It's a pretty good show. But Rorschach is about the only one that keeps that fucking group on task and on target. And he just has no patience. Just no patience whatsoever. Because he sees the world for what it really is. And so Rorschach was kind of like this. Again, going back to, no matter what the odds, no matter what, is like the. And I think what you take from that is you may be an idealist, you may be someone who wants to be the good guy. You're going to be Scott Bernard. You're going to liberate the earth. What Rorschach does is confirm to those of you that no, you're not insane. The amount of propaganda and lies the world and your environment and society will tell you that you're wrong. That's the biggest enemy. The biggest enemy, if Robotech, the Third War, was to be made into a TV reality movie, the real adversary would not be the evil invid aliens. It would be the people. And there's even an episode to show you, I know a lot of you laugh at Robotech, but to show you how ahead of its time and how serious it was, one of the episodes in Robotech, they come across this village where the village is not revolting. They willingly go work for the invid. The aliens, because slavery is better than death. And he's like, what the hell is wrong? So yeah, it's. But anyway, Rorschach tells you, no, you're not insane. Everybody else is. The world is insane, because you're like, yeah, no, that's blue. I see blue. Don't tell me it's red. There are 4 lights. There are 4 lights. So there's that. So then you're all going to get older. Then you're going to get more practical. And then you'll learn to hate the world and the people that populate it. And so then your heroes become much more practical. And I don't have was Machiavelli one of you guys? Not really, never read any of his stuff. But your heroes just become men I want to be like. This is who or you envy because you know you're never going to be them. So I guess that they're not inspiring you because well, I take way too much morals and efforts and giving up way too many vices to be like you. I kind of wish I would be like you, but now that I think about what's going to be required, nah, I don't want to. No, I don't. So the first one, again, fictional character, Lester Burnham. Lester Burnham is played by Kevin Spacey from the movie American Beauty. That is a brilliant movie. Everyone should see it. And basically, it's enjoy the decline. He's sick and tired of his job. He's sick and tired of his bitchy, cold wife. He's sick and tired of his removed, distant teenage daughter. And he just starts living life again. He quits his job, threatens them with sexual harassment suit if they don't give him a full year severance. He works a crappy job with a bunch of young kids over at a burger flipping joint. He buys the sports car he wants. He hits the gym. He starts smoking pot. He tries to make out with, rekindle the romance with his wife. He starts chasing after one of his daughter's girlfriends because, she was just 17, if you know what I mean, kind of thing. All he just does it and how society attacks him for how dare you step out of that role. And he ends up getting killed in the end. And one of the points is you don't know who did it because he pissed off so many people by going and living his own life that there was as many people possible that killed him. And it's the gay Marine, by the way, which then become a little bit over the top for the movie, but so Lester Burnham. Other people, I'm not going to mention these guys' last name. My buddy Lloyd, Iraq hero, got hit with an LED, or an IED, and still just comes back fighting. And what I like about him is he actually will go and participate in politics. He actually gives a damn about the country. And he hasn't got no kids. He has no reason to do that. And I'm like, why? I'm like, wow, that guy's got a lot of morals and principles. Like, he's doing this completely on principles. He doesn't have skin in the game. He certainly isn't doing it for the money. He doesn't make any money on it anyway. And I look at that and I'm like, wow, that guy, he's a better man than me. Because I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Not doing that. And then he's also like a really cool guy. He has a lot of trades and skills. He has taught himself, self-taught. I'm not going to mention what they are because they are so unique it would identify him. But these are some really cool, masculine things. Like really cool. Like, man, that's a real man over there. How much effort does it take? Oh, hell no. No. I'm going to do this to the motorcycle. I'm going to go vroom, vroom, and I'm going to go drive around and do that a lot. That's what Aaron wants to do. Another guy, a friend of mine, Vince. Vince is a Marine, did his 20 years. Vince is a Chicago cop. He's about to do his 20 years, if not he has already. And that guy came from fuck all. I was not brought up. There's poor and then there's truly destitute poor. I was lower middle income. There was no money to go there. There was no let's go skiing, ski lift tickets. All those fucking assholes at the school, they come back with their ski jackets and they have like all the little tags and then like be bunched up because they went skiing like 20, 30 times. Couldn't afford that. But I didn't have like a mother that would get doped up and leave for weeks. Not that he had it, but it was definitely a no stability at all. None. And he came out of that, joined the military, and has become a highly successful and accomplished man. And I look at him and he's also, I wouldn't say jaded, but somewhat dark and cynical. And he's just like, dude, I just want to fish. he just wants to fish. He wants to move out west. And he just wants to enjoy his life. And I look at that and I'm kind of like, wow, he came from way behind. And he's not a millionaire or anything, but he's done a great many things serving the population as a cop. And then also really cool masculine trades and skills, man. Really kind of want to mention the hobbies, but you just look at that like, dude, that is fucking amazing. That is some cool shit you're doing there. So there's that guy there. And then Chris Muir, which some of you do know, he runs the website daybydaycartoon.com. He is a cartoonist. And the handful of times I've met him, I don't really say I have a mentor or somebody I look up to. And not to sound arrogant or cocky, I practically raised myself, whatever morality, because there was no one else around. And what advice I was getting, you'd find, this is bullshit advice after, 5 to 10 or even 15 years. Figuring out this is bullshit advice. Chris is truly a wise man who not only points out where you came from, why you're not where you wanted to be or where you went further than you were expected to, but where you're going and what's going to happen. And he comes with really poignant, just really insightful things like, you know what? Appreciate your hair. I'm like, what? Appreciate your hair. Well, you have your hair. I'm like, why? He grew his hair out real long one time. And he's like, it's gray, but I still have it. So you should appreciate it. Grow out your hair. Like, grow out my hair. What? And stuff like that. And then you can say, like, oh yeah, I should appreciate my hair while I have it. Like, well, you have it. Even if it's gray, appreciate your hair. But other wisdom where you're doing good there, don't worry about that. You're on the right track here. You screwed that up. You're screwing this up. And then you look and he explains it to you. And that's the thing. Nobody explains anything to you. I'm trying to figure out. Don't stick a fork in the electrical socket. Why? Because I told you so. That's the most worthless parent. Because I told you. Because I'm your father. Because I'm your mother and I said so. That doesn't explain it. You got to explain to them why not to stick the fork into the electrical socket. Now, sometimes those are self-evident lessons that you'll learn on your own. Your parents kind of just let you do it. Because then you'll learn. But there are other things. Well, don't do that. Don't date the hot chick with the big tits. What? Now, most of you know why. I mean, you could date her, but don't get excited. Most of you know why not to do that. But imagine how much pain and suffering you would have avoided as a young man if someone sat you down and explained to you what was going to happen. Say, okay, look, your biology is going to have you go one way. You're going to think, wow, but let me explain to you what's really going to happen. And I'll tell you not to go chase after the hot chick with the big tits. Okay, I'll tell you that. Okay, but you're going to do it. And what's worse is you might get one. And what's going to happen is X, Y, Z, and A, B, C. So that when you foolishly ignore the wise man's advice and you go and you chase after the hot chick with the big tits and then you get her, that when she starts acting on the bipolar and the passive aggressive and no, I'm not all that other fucking bullshit, you at least know, hey, wait a minute, that wise sage told me this would happen. He said this is why it's happening. And then 1, you don't feel bad. 2, you know it's not your fault. And 3, you're like, get the fuck out of here, bitch. I'm gone. You go find yourself some other stooge. That's how he saves time. That's how he saves pain and agony. That's how truly wise men help out younger men. Like, look, you're going to make a mistake I told you not to make. But I'm going to explain to you why. I'm going to predict what's going to happen, and I'll be right. And then 2, I'm going to explain to you why. So that 3, you're not sitting there trial and error everything out because you don't know any better. You think you're something wrong with you. And then you can get out and you're like, oh yeah. I mean, heck, I've done that to several guys. I'm like, dude, get rid of that girl. No, I don't want to know. Oh, dude, Aaron, she did. Oh my God, you were right. Like, oh, hey. How many thousands of dollars should I have charged you for that? And so Chris Muir is like a very wise guy, and very few people that I'm like, I will like, oh yeah, I'll shut up and listen. I mean, it's just like, wow, cool. Yeah, it makes you think. Then you're driving back from Florida. You're like, oh, wow, he is right about that. Huh? So that's it. All right, Cappy's got to do more videos. Questions, answers, asshole consulting.com. Check it out. Check out the books, all that other stuff. We'll see you all later. Toodles.